Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading. I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to check in on a person and a situation going on in your life that is probably having a bit of a big impact right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to see how your person is feeling about the situation, why they're feeling this way, what actions they'll take towards you based on these feelings, and what they hope to accomplish by taking this action. Then we're going to check in with you. We're going to see how you're feeling in this whole situation, what action you're likely to take, and then the future of this situation, just to give you a little bit of clarity, maybe a different perspective as to what's going on. The goal here is just to kind of help you. Excuse me. I'm wondering if some of you are having trouble speaking your feelings here. Yeah, just to give you a little bit of clarity, help you act in your highest good in dealing with this situation and get through it in the best way possible. So let's see here. Where am I cutting your deck, Aries? It's not. It's because I'm not going high enough, hey? Right there. Yeah. Eight of Swords right in the middle there. Someone feels like you is keeping some things to yourself here. Let's see. The rest of your cards. All right. Oh, interesting. Bottom of the deck, we have King of Cups. So is this your feelings, or is this maybe just heard from you trying not to interfere, which is interesting. Kind of like, you might be able to help, you want to help, but you don't really want to feel like you're overbearing, I heard. It's interesting. Let's see what this is. How your person is feeling is Temperance. I think they're feeling okay. They've got some measure of balance here. I feel like they almost feel protected. They're kind of happy. They're just a sense of calm, which is really nice. Yeah. Okay, so why they're feeling this way is the moon. It almost feels as though like they've gone deep within. They've kind of done whatever work they've needed to do, right? Um, it's interesting though because the moon is still a card of illusion, a card of fears, right? Things you can't see, things that you I want clarity on, but maybe you won't quite get it until the light really shines on it. You know what I mean? Um, so it's interesting that they're feeling this way, but it almost just feels as though that they've had the light shine on whatever this is. They've kind of I just heard they've got both sides of the equation here. They've got the moon, right? But I mean, in the Temperance, they've also got the sun. They've got the light. They've got the clarity. So it almost feels as though they've done some investigating on their own, I want to say. It's interesting. So what action will they take towards you based on these feelings? Queen of Swords. This is a conversation, but I don't necessarily know if this is going to be a great conversation. It is the Queen of Swords after all. They don't have feelings in the equation here at all, which is really interesting because the moon is still card feelings, right? I don't know. The energy I'm feeling from this Queen of Swords, like even if it is a conversation, it is one of those like no holds barred conversations. They're not going to be afraid to be very honest. They're not going to be afraid to tell you exactly how they're feeling, and their words might cut a little bit. Um, so yeah, that Eight of Swords energy and that King of Cups, that definitely feels like you, Aries. It feels as though you are well aware of your feelings. You know the depths that you can reach. It's interesting though with this King of Cups. I just keep looking at this ship in the background, so it's almost as though you left yourself an escape route. And I'm wondering if it's because you haven't addressed anything here with this Eight of Swords. Um, it's kind of like you're not planning to. You have a contingency plan here, and it's not letting this person know exactly how you're feeling, um, which is interesting, which is probably why this person isn't really engaging their feelings either. Would you blame them? I don't. Like, if you want open, honest feelings, you kind of have to provide that as well, you know? But what they hope to accomplish by this action is Knight of Cups. It's almost as though they're playing this game with you. And they're saying, okay, well, I'm going to meet your expectations. I'm going to meet, not your expectations, your actions. What you're doing, I'll just give it right back to you. And they're hoping, I think, to encourage you to open up a little bit, to give them just a little bit, right? Because this is just a knight. This isn't even a queen. It's a little more than a page. They want a little bit more than the bare minimum, but they want enough to know that there's still some interest here. You know what I mean? They're hoping to encourage a little bit of the depth that they know that you have with that King of Cups. So it's an interesting strategy. How you're feeling about the situation. You've got Page of Pentacles. Again, it's kind of it's a little bit of a feeling of like a bare minimum effort, right? But I mean, it is still a solid effort. It is a pentacle. And Page of Pentacles is one of the cards of education. So it's almost as though you're feeling like you need a little bit more to go on before you make a decision or say anything, something like that. You need just a little bit more. Now, what that's in regards to, I'm not sure. But that's kind of what I'm feeling from that card. You want just like a little bit more. You want something a little more solid here is what I'm seeing. Because what we have up to now basically is just water and air. It's two things that can easily slip through your fingers, right? I think you're looking for a little bit more of like the dirt, right? And I'm not saying like the gossip and stuff like that. I'm saying like the solid parts. Like if you try to hold water in your hand, you might be left with a little bit here in your palm, but the rest of it's going to slip through your fingers. And air, I mean, it's completely intangible. It's basically as though you don't have any hold on it at all. Whereas like if you have a handful of dirt, you might lose some, but you're still going to come out with more than if you were trying to hold water, right? So I feel like that's kind of where you're coming from in this situation. So the action that you're likely to take here is Ten of Cups. I feel like you will do some opening up to this person. Now, it's maybe not knight level of opening up, but it is still a 10, right? It is still, well, like 10s are completeness, right? They're fulfillment and stuff. So it's, I feel like this is more closely like somewhere between like a knight and a queen kind of energy in terms of being almost there. You know what I mean? Possibly even a little bit closer to your king energy. It doesn't feel like it's all of it, but I'm gonna say it's a great deal of it for sure. And I say that because there is a lot more water on this card than what is coming through in this knight here. So you can kind of see there might be a little bit of a river here where I can't really tell. It's not that clear, but there's definitely a tiny bit of water over here, right? There's a cup, there's some sort of bottle, probably wine, right? Like there's water here, but this is bottled up. This could be empty for all we know. We can't see inside it. There's just a little bit in the horizon, but here it's closer. All right, these children are actually playing in the water. So it's almost as though this person is getting the opening up that they're hoping for out of you. I just heard for some of you, you're kind of realizing that if you do want to learn more from this person, you will have to open up, and that's where this comes from. So it's not really like this person is getting their way. It's kind of like you're both getting your way, if that makes sense. You're both kind of, there's an equal give and take here, especially with this Temperance card. There is the balance, which is really good. That's what we want to see. So the future of this is interesting. Knight of Wands, and I will clarify this card. It's passion, right? It's creativity, it's energy, and it's a strong energy I'm feeling. But the worry that I have here is that it's maybe a little bit of a temporary energy, because the Knight of Wands is a card of like a little bit of like a back and forth, a little bit flaky, right? That's not really what we want to see, but I mean, it's only the future of this, right? It's not like the full outcome. This isn't how it's going to end, because tarot is a little bit more of like a snapshot of things. And even if you don't like the outcome, there are things that you can do to change it. So that's the thing with tarot. It's not set in stone. We all have free will and we can change this accordingly. So let us clarify this Knight of Wands first and foremost. Okay, that's interesting. Bottom of the deck here is the Queen of Emotions, which is the Queen of Cups, which I do like. It is divine counterpart to the King. And what I like even more here is the Page of Materials. Page of Pentacles is between that. That's your feelings right here. And then the King of Cups, the Muse of Emotions. So it's almost as though like your feelings of wanting to learn more are kind of between you both, which is interesting. Because on some level, like, this person does want you to open up a little bit too, right? That's kind of why they're playing you at your own game with being shut off. So it definitely has like a mirrored energy I'm feeling here. But regardless, we are clarifying this Knight of Cups, right? So what we have here is awakening or judgment and the Ten of Materials. So what this says to me is that this, even if this is like a real quick burst of energy that may not sustain its energy in the beginning, I feel like I'm just trying to think, like you can light a candle, right? And the flame can just grow super high, right? But it might not keep that height the whole time. It's kind of like here we go, a campfire, right? You set the campfire, it burns, you cook your food on it, whatever, but the embers, like, and the coals at the bottom, they still have power. They are still warm and smoldering, right? That's kind of what this feels like. This burst of energy that moves you guys forward puts you on the path to a more, like, long-term thing. Okay. Now, and this does not have to be in terms of love if you're not looking for love. It very well can be. It definitely kind of is playing out in a bit of like a love reading. But that's not to say this can't be job related or anything like that. Because, I mean, like, if this is negotiations between you and a future employer or employee, like, yeah, like maybe you're just like, man, I would absolutely love this job, but I cannot show them how much I want it because I don't want them to play off of that emotion. I don't want them to shortchange me. You know what I mean? Whereas the employer kind of has the idea, and I feel like they're a little bit on the same page here. Like, man, I would really love this person as an employee. I think they really want it too, but they're not showing us, so we don't want to play our hand either. So it's kind of like a little bit of an opening up, and then I think as the negotiations go forward, things open up and you're put on a path, right, to abundance, essentially, which is really good. So this doesn't necessarily have to be a love reading. I still feel like it can be for sure. Yeah, just looking here. I don't really think there's anything else I want to clarify. This feels pretty straightforward. Um, just trying to figure out which oracle deck they want me to use here. I think they're leading me towards two of them, so I'm just going to start with one. Okay, what do we have for Aries in this situation, please? What sort of advice do you have to offer Aries in this situation? That kind of hurt a little bit, not going to lie. And that is 4 cards. They're telling me to take the bottom one here, though, which is interesting. I think they only meant that one. It's interesting here. Sorry, I just ended up looking at all of them. They all sort of apply here. And the one that they wanted me to take was safe home. So this is kind of just recognizing that this is a little bit of a safe place to be in. You know what I mean? More of like a safe place to open up a little bit. Like it's not going to hurt you if you allow yourself out of this 8 of Swords energy is what I'm getting here. Yeah. Because I'm just going to show them. There's also courage that came out here. So it's kind of like the courage to recognize that you are safe here. You can open up. You are being divinely guided here, which goes along with this awakening card. And at the end, like, there's abundance. So, I mean, what more could you want, right? Again, it ties into this 10 of Pentacles. But the main thing they wanted me to emphasize here was the safe home. Like, this is okay. You can open up. Everything's going to be all right. But I'm going to do this other oracle deck here for Aries in this situation. Okay. Transformation. Commit to acting on new ideas and longings. Take a leap of faith. Begin again. So there definitely is transformation here. You just need to open up a little bit. Okay. And then that's going to lead to a lot of abundance, I feel. Bottom of the deck we had is action. So take some form of action without regrets. Examine what is holding you back from taking action and cut it loose. You'll get the most immediate results through acting decisively. No maybes. All right, so that's kind of at the bottom of this. That is propelling this forward, right? It's the heart of the matter. If you want the transformation, you need to act. All right, you can't keep holding yourself back here. You got to open up a little bit. And whoever this is, whatever situation this is, the other person kind of recognizes that. And I think they're hoping that by meeting your energy and kind of giving you that same energy, you'll kind of be like, well, what the heck, right? Like, why? And then you realize, like, oh no, this is this is what I'm doing. So they're just meeting me here. And yeah, there's got to be like, meet me halfway, a little bit of compromise. We got to work this out, and in order to do that, you need to open up. But I feel like at this point, I'm just repeating myself, Aries. So I hope this resonated. If it did, please drop a like down below. Lets me know as a tarot reader I've tapped into your energies, which is super important for me because I do strive to give the most accurate message that I possibly can. If you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button. If you have already, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.